Hello students, this is lecture number 2 from the topic transportation, which is also called as circulation. Yesterday we have seen the first part of this topic, circulation. Under that we have studied about open and closed vascular system. After that, this closed vascular system is divided into two types, single circulation and double circulation, that we are going to study later on. Now we are going to start with the transporting system itself, or we can say the blood vascular system. Actually, in human being, vascular system is of two types, blood vascular system and lymphatic system. Of this, we are going to start with blood vascular system, which includes three components. First component is your blood, the transporting media. Second component is the heart, which is the pumping organ, and its third part is blood vessels. So we have to study these three structures, these three components in detail. We are going to start with the first part of the blood vascular system, that is blood. What is this blood? Blood is the liquid connective tissue. Remember that it is a liquid connective tissue, and this liquid connective tissue is derived from the embryonal mesoderm. Thirdly, you have to remember that pH of the blood is slightly alkaline, that is its pH is 7.4. Third point, you have to remember that it is slightly heavier than water. And what is this blood actually now? You should know that this blood is divided into its two main components. What are the two main components of blood? Its first component is called as plasma, that is the liquid part of the blood, and it constitutes about 55% of total amount of blood. Second part of the blood is called as formative elements. These formative elements, it includes the blood cells. Instead of saying formative elements, we will say it here formed elements. Okay, so second part is its formed elements. Formed element, why it is a formed element? Because they are formed inside the body. Okay, so these formed elements are of three types. These three types of formed elements are RBCs, second one WBCs, and third one is platelets. Different terminology are used for different type of blood cells. We are studying about the composition of blood. This blood, as earlier said, consists of two parts. Plasma, this is the liquid part of the blood, which forms 55% of the total amount of blood. Second part is formed element, which constitutes about 45% of the total amount of blood. Formed element, why it is a formed element? Because it is formed inside the body, and three components are RBCs, WBCs and platelets. In the further part, we have to study about composition of plasma, about RBCs, WBCs and platelets in detail. Now see, we are going to start with this plasma. You should know properly it is a liquid part of the blood, and this for liquid part of the blood. Now see in the textbook which page number you have to see. For this, we have to see page number 164. A table is given. See the page number 164, table number 8.14. Here the composition of plasma is given. Just for your understanding, I am reading it. Its components are water 90%. That means in plasma, this is liquid part. As I said, liquid part consists of 90% of water. Secondly, it consists of proteins like albumin, globulin, properdin, prothrombin, fibrinogen, which forms the different functions in the blood. Inorganic salts, some food material, waste material, regulatory hormones, anticoagulants, cholesterol and antibodies, along with dissolved gases are present in the liquid part of the blood, that is in the plasma. So you have to learn this by heart. Now we are going to start with its second part, that is formed elements. Okay, so what are these formed elements? Formed elements means actually the different kinds of blood cells. So we are going to start with second part of the blood, that is formed elements. As I said, this formed elements includes three type of blood cells, and these three types of blood cells are: first one RBCs, second one WBCs, white blood corpuscles, also called as leukocytes, and third one is the platelets, and these platelets are also called as thrombocytes. Now see, these three kinds of blood cells we have to study under different headings. So what you have to do while you are going to study, you have to make a chart. How to draw the chart? You have to draw 4 columns. Here these 3 columns I have drawn already, and one more column in the previous part of the page you have to draw, that is for the character. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments are there, columns are there. And under the comparative account, we are going to study about these 3 types of blood cells: RBCs, WBCs and platelets. What characters we have to use? Character number 1 is shape. What is the shape of these 3 different kinds of cells? For example, RBCs are oval biconcave cells. WBCs are irregularly shaped amoeboid cells, and platelets are again oval cells. In that way, we have to make a comparative account for all this. I will give you the characters, and from these characters, with the help of your textbook, you have to prepare a comparative account. What is the second point to be studied is about nucleus. What to study about nucleus? Their presence or absence. For example, in RBCs, nucleus is absent; in WBCs, nucleus is present; and platelets also nucleus is absent. The term used for absence of nucleus is enucleated. Remember that. Enucleated for absence of nucleus. Here for RBCs, enucleated condition is seen in case of all mammals, but exception is there, and this exception is your camel, and one more animal is there, llama. Okay. So remember that this is the exceptional condition where nuclei are present in RBCs, or we can say that RBCs are nucleated. So you have to make comparative account by using these characters. The characters which you have to use is: first one is shape, second one is nucleus, second one, next characteristic feature you have to make comparative account is about their number. That means what is the number of these cells in a particular area of the body. Fourth character we have to use is about lifespan. What is the lifespan of RBCs, WBCs and platelets inside the body? Next to that, you have to make a comparative account for site of formation. What is the meaning of this site of formation? That means where the RBCs are formed in the body. For example, in case of young one, in case of the children, or we can say in case of fetus, RBCs are formed in liver and spleen. That means these are the body organs which are concerned with formation of these blood cells. So where RBCs are produced, where WBCs are produced, and where platelets are formed. In that way, we have to use its comparative account. So 5 points for characteristic for the comparison I told. The 6th point we have to use for comparison is here where they are produced, site of formation written. Next to that is here site of destruction. That means after completion of their work. That means after completion of their lifespan, these blood cells are destructed in the body. So this is called as site of destruction. Next to that, increase in number. That means in the point number 3, I think we have studied that what is the total count, what is the normal number of these blood cells. So if the normal number of blood cell count is increased, so this point you have to study under this increase in number of blood cells. Then next to that is decrease in number of blood cells. Decrease means less than normal. So decrease in number will be the 8th point. After that we have to study about its process of formation. For process of formation, terminologies are given. Like word poiesis, erythropoiesis is the process of formation of RBCs, leukopoiesis for the formation of WBCs and all. And next to that, last characteristic feature for comparison, we have to make it for function. So if you are going to prepare this chart for the comparative account of RBCs, WBCs and platelets, a big data will be produced with you, and that on that a different kind of multiple choice questions or different kind of MCQs as well as answer in one sentence can be asked.
क्या आर्टिकल